This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombarnardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
It is true. There's no question about it. I'm going to kind of sound like a whiny pain in the ass right here, but maybe you guys you're in a relationship, so maybe you would understand this. Catherine's leaving town tomorrow for 5 days. I hate that.
Where's she got to go now? Leaving you hanging up to dry.
Well, luckily she's being punished for it because she's got to go to Orlando where it's about 110 degrees.
Back your sunscreen, honey.
Yeah, put on your sunscreen, baby.
There you go.
And I kind of made fun of her because she's going to Orlando, but she doesn't have time to go to Disney World. So the only reason I'd ever go to Orlando is go to Disney World, right?
Especially in this heat.
Oh God, it's going to be hotter than hell here. So
that's true.
What does that tell you? But yeah, the one thing I will tell you guys, being in different age groups, all three of us are kind of in different age groups. But if you it was our 40th anniversary on Sunday, so we spent a lot of time together and all that. But you will, honestly, God, at some point, you will realize if you're together, 30 years, 35 years, whatever. In my case, 40 years. That you love them more than you ever did. And if you don't, what the hell are you doing with them after 40 years?
Right. Yeah. If you're not continuing, I think, getting more and more infatuated with your significant other.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
And I never even asked you yesterday because we had a pre-packed show, but did you guys do anything special to celebrate the 40 years or was it just a casual dinner at home?
Well, matter of fact, I don't even think we had dinner at home because we spent that was the whole Coeur d'Alene trip.
Okay.
Coeur d'Alene.
For sure.
That was all about this. She set that whole thing up, and that's yet another reason. One thing about that is it's kind of hilarious because she can lock into the kind of street thing too. I mean, she's a very beautiful woman. She's very smart and just the nicest person you ever want to meet. But that street lingo, toe to toe, I don't always win those arguments with her. Honest to God. But I admire that she's a very strong woman, which my mother was, my two sisters were. That I just love women that are very strong women. So anyway, I'm just sitting here whining about the fact where's Catherine? I'm going to watch Doc Martin. It's like, God. Anything on TV new that's any good? I need a couple of shows.
Ooh, that's new that's on TV.
Like cable TV, I'm not sure. I think we could probably wrangle up some streaming options, though.
Well, no, I don't have cable. Does anybody have cable still?
Oh, I thought you.
Well, I mean, I guess Dish. I considered like DirecTV cable.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I suppose that's true.
No, there's a documentary on Netflix. It's like The Man with 1,000 Kids or something like that.
Oh yeah, I saw the promo for that.
This guy, he said he was like, I'm only doing 5 families for like whatever surrogate mother in vitro fertilization, and then he ended up doing like half of Canada, or the UK. And so
half of the UK.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's got like 1,000 kids.
I know he's good, but it seems a little early in his career for Anthony Edwards to get his own documentary.
Right.
Yeah,
that's what I said. And I guess this guy was like, he had a friend that was in on it too. And they were like, they did what they called like sperm roulette, where they would mix theirs together and send it out to the
God,
who's won.
Jesus.
So, yeah.
How do you even have that conversation with a buddy? Like, how do you bring that up casually?
Right. Like, I don't, how
like
do you have
and
then how do you have a friend that's just like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
How much coercing did it take to play sperm roulette?
I got to be on. Now, what the hell did you tell me that for? I'm sitting here thinking, look, these two guys have sperm in their bodies right now, and I got to be with them all morning. I mean, Jesus, what are you doing to me?
Yeah. But yeah, other than that,
I'm going to look up other options.
look up other options. See how that works out for you. But yeah, I did see the promo for that. And the guy's not very old.
No, he looks like, I think he was like 37 or something now. So
I never did that. I never did that donating the sperm deal.
No, having a random kid that you don't know about is kind of weird to me. I don't think I could do it.
Yeah, I mean, you'd want to meet them, and you don't get to meet them.
No.
So, yeah, I mean, you do what you do. People out there, that's your deal, and good for you, and all the rest of it. But what the hell? So how about a movie? Since there are, because I've been looking for shows to be watching on streaming, And there are some great ones. There's no matter of fact, I ran into 2 episodes of Doc Martin that I had never seen before because they were connected, and for some reason they just didn't show up. You can get Doc Martin on a lot of. You guys ever watch that show?
No.
Phenomenal show.
Okay.
Just Martin Clunes plays the Doc, and he is tremendous. Although Catherine did point something out. Said, you ever notice that his girlfriend is always wearing very long shirts or, blouses that hang down to about, the middle of her leg, something like that? I said, yeah. Well, why does she do that? Because she got a big ass. I said, are you sure, honey? She goes, yep, that's why women do that. They wear those long blouses when they got a big ass. So I said, but she's so thin in the face, very pretty. Doesn't matter. Some women have big asses.
I can spot one from across the room.
You got some booties going out there now. I'll tell you that, man. There's some women.
Oh, yeah. Well, now it's everybody does or especially the younger generations, the BBLs and all the fake butt implants. And
right.
Stuff like that, so
I'm doing a lot of that.
Yep. But if you are looking for a movie, Trigger Warning on Netflix.
Trigger Warning.
Yep. It's got Jessica Alba. She's essentially
a
retired Army veteran that comes home to her father, I think, passed away, and then she's trying to save her family bar and thwarts a big drug gun running ring, and there's a lot of unnecessary violence and death in there. So
like in my life.
Yes.
So it's Trigger Warning.
Yep, it's called Trigger Warning. It's on Netflix.
Just came Netflix. Out. Oh, good. And I got something to watch tomorrow night when I'm all alone by myself in the house.
Otherwise, there's also Monkey Man that's going on Peacock.
I saw that, yeah. I mean, I didn't see it yet, but I saw it appearing on my screen.
That's one that I've been meaning to watch. I love Dev Patel. I just wasn't able to get out to the theater for that one. If you want a kind of comedy, I don't really know the premise of this one, but it has Zac Efron, Joey King, and I can't remember the other lady's name. Give me 1 second here. She's won Academy Awards. She's the movie lady that was on Marcus Theaters or whatever. She's the very memed this is the place where emotions are thriving. You know what I'm talking about?
The voiceover lady?
Yes. She's in movies though. I just can't remember what her name is. But anyways, it's I think it's a finding yourself type of movie, but also
you talk about a family affair.
Yes, a family affair.
So yeah, Zac Efron, Nicole Kidman.
Thank you.
Oh, she's good. She's Australian, isn't she?
Yes, she is. Australian.
Who's she married to? She's married to somebody. Is it Hugh Jackman?
Keith Urban.
Oh, Keith Urban. There you go. That's right.
Country singer.
The
country singer. Yes.
Nice.
The country. Let me tell you something, lady.
Let's see. A surprising romance kicks off comic consequences for a young woman, her mother, and her movie star boss as they face the complications of love, sex, and identity. So, I don't know.
I could get after that.
Could be a fun
no
little
question.
watch.
No doubt about it. Well, good. I got on one side, I got a lot of murder. On the other side, people are actually being nice to each other. Is that what you're saying?
That's balance.
On the other side, people are banging.
Yep.
They're banging, baby. People are banging, baby. We'll take a break. Be right back because Judd doesn't have to go early today, does he?
No, I don't think so.
It might be a week-long deal. You never know with these situations. Let's take a second to talk about my bank. It would be North American Banking Company. If you own a business or are thinking about starting one, maybe, make sure to check out my friends at North American Banking Company. When your business is looking to capitalize on an opportunity, maybe solve a problem, something like that, turn to their experts because they are locally owned and operated. Loan decisions are made here in the Twin Cities. They're not shipped out of state, which I think is a massive pain in the ass. This helps business owners expand with confidence, and you want confidence in business. So if you're looking for a better banking experience, why not bank with my friends at North American Banking Company? Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they taught you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
Mike Lindell and My Pillow employees. Matter of fact, I got to talk to my buddy over there today. As a matter of fact, I said matter of fact twice. Do you hear that? Mike Lindell and My Pillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. To thank you, they're having an overstock clearance and new product sale right now for the best prices ever. When you use promo code Tom, you get free shipping on your entire order. Get 50% off the My Pillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived and will not last long. 6-pack towel sets for only $29.98, and take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses and mattress toppers, 100% made in the USA. They're on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything's on sale, from the brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually absorb, dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, and so much more. To get the best specials ever, go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146. Use promo code Tom, and you get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146 or go to mypillow.com and use promo code Tom.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
And now, Judd Zulgad.
What's going on?
That's your new intro I'm going to do. What do you think?
It's very nice. Very nice.
Oh,
very official.
What's the buzz, man?
Twins got rained out, so you don't have to worry about them losing. They couldn't lose. It's an impossibility. They play a doubleheader today. So
They do play the doubleheader today.
They do. Yep. In Chicago against the White Sox. And if they can sweep that, they are off tomorrow. And then they go to San Francisco. And then we have the All-Star break. So an opportunity exists here. All-Star
break coming up. It is July.
Mm-hmm.
No question. I heard an ad on the way in this morning, and they said, and they promise it'll happen 6 weeks from now. 6 weeks from now, summer's half over. No, 6 weeks from now, summer's just about over.
Yeah, I was going to say, what are they talking about? Once July 4th hits, man, that it's there's a sense of it's basically done. I'm sorry.
What do you got? The blue light special going on in the background?
Yeah, I got a light that I have behind me, and it often defaults to this weird, like, sort of darker 60s weird thing, and so I like to turn it so it actually brings some light in the back of me and does not look like I'm trying to have a disco ball or something.
This is the Legends of Doom Sports Report. What do you think?
Yeah, that's good.
It'll all work out. So, what time is the first game today?
I think they start at 1:00 today, and it's going to go straight through. So they'll have a game. They'll take like a 20-minute break, 25-minute break, and then they'll come back and play, which I love because I hate these split double headers where they try and where they don't try. They play like at 1:00, and then they're like the next game will start at 7.
Yep.
Like, oh, give me a break.
I agree with you on that one. So, yeah, good. I'll have, I was telling these guys Catherine's leaving town, but not until tomorrow. So, but I don't know. She'll be busy preparing to leave town, but she'll be out of town for 5 days. So I'm kind of whiny this morning.
Oh, you're by yourself for 5 days.
Yeah. Wow. What the hell is that?
Well, I was just by myself for, Dawn and her best friend went to New York last week. And so they were gone Tuesday through, came back on Saturday. So it was me, our dog Stella, and then Dawn's friend's dog Ryder. And so it was me and 2 dogs.
Did you, if you get a chance, I don't know if she put it on my Facebook page or not. I don't know, but I got to find out. There is a video of our dog, 14, or I guess he's 13 years old, 13-year-old Jude. And he's sitting on the floor and he's going like, grumble, grumble, grumble. And then he looks at his dog food bag. And then he looks at his dish, which is empty. He did that for about 10 minutes. He's like looking at Catherine. Like, you calm down. Dogs are smarter than they've ever been, I think.
Yes, they are. And they know. And here's the thing. When they want to, they can tell time.
You're right. He knows when it's 5 o'clock. Look, it's 5. Look, I'm looking at my paw and it's 5 o'clock. Yep. Where's my dinner?
Yep.
True.
Stella starts to politic to get fed because she knows I'm a sucker at because her dinner time is 5 o'clock. She'll start to grumble about it just to see if she can get it early at about 3:50. And then ordinarily by about 4:45, I break down and say, screw it. But she 100% knows. It's also funny that they can understand English when they want to.
When they want to, yes.
But the rest of the time, it's like, I have no idea what you're saying. Sorry.
Yep.
When they want to.
When I say, do you want a treat? Your ears perk up.
Oh,
but
yeah.
when I'm like, hey, it's time for a bath or we got to go outside and go potty, then we don't understand anything.
Yep.
We don't get it. I love dogs. I love all animals. Animals are we haven't had a cat in a long time. We had cats when we were living on a farm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, having animals around is great. I love it.
Oh, it's fantastic. And the best part, you can leave and not get in trouble. It's not like a child.
That's very, very. Although Jude whines like a madman when we leave. He looks at you like he actually looks at me. This is your fault.
Yeah.
You're taking mom away, and it's your fault. Like,
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Whatever, Palomino. But so, did you name your dog after the female lead in the Marlon Brando movie?
Yes. I always wanted to open the door and yell Stella, and so that's exactly why I did it.
That's exactly what. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. No question about it. So we got 2 Twins games today.
Yes.
Where are they staying right now? How far out are they?
They are. Cleveland won again last night. It might be 5.5. I'll check real quick here because it keeps changing. And Cleveland is just, it's weird. They're not playing. Cleveland's not playing great right now, but they've won enough
5.5.
where they are keeping the Twins at bay. 5.5. Twins are back.
Okay.
5.5, but they are still in that second wild card spot. So I mean, they're in pretty good shape, and they could catch Cleveland. Cleveland's got to have a drought of some sort eventually, but they have just had an incredible season.
No, there's no question about that. Anything else we should know about? I just can't get over the fact they lost that Viking, man, that draft choice. It's so sad that happened. I can't get over it.
Oh, the Kyrie Jackson thing? Yeah, it's terrible. 24-year-old kid.
God.
I know. Those things are always just so brutal. And they don't make any sense. Like, you can't make sense of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just awful. And I mean, the kid was a great story. He had gone from bouncing around colleges to quitting football to being the employee of the month at a grocery store at one point to going back to playing for Bama, and then it didn't work there, so he went to Oregon and got drafted, and yeah, it's just brutal, just absolutely brutal.
Yeah, I can't get over that because I suppose it's because of the age thing. 24 is way too young to be dying, man.
Yep, and you're dealing with a sport there where these guys at times incorrectly seem invincible.
Yeah.
I mean, football is the most brutal of sports that you can play, and they seem invincible. And yeah, it's just such a tragedy. So I agree completely with you.
So I'm sorry to drag you down, but I was thinking about that on the way in. It's like, my God. I mean, my kids are both in their 30s now, and I can't even imagine. Oh, I remember when he was still alive 10 years ago. It's like, oh, God.
I know. And to go from, in April, the kid gets drafted in the 4th round, and it was such a highlight for the family.
Yep.
And then you get that call, and like, I don't have kids, but I can't even imagine, that phone call.
I cannot either. I didn't mean to drag us down, but that will not leave my head. And I know why, because just losing somebody that young is way, way too early, man.
Yeah. And I mean, I remember, I think the first sports tragedy I remember as a kid was when Lyman Bostock, who had been a Twin, obviously, and then was with the Angels, was shot in Gary, Indiana.
Yep.
Because a guy's ex-wife, who he was, and the guy was trying to kill her from another car, shot into the car Bostock was in, and she was in as well, and hit him, and I think killed him instantly. And he was a young guy with his whole life in front of him too. Those things are, man, they're hard to process.
I don't know how many years ago it was. It was a lot. Byerly's. It was that long ago. It was not Lunds and Byerly's yet. It was still Byerly's.
Sure.
I saw him and what was it? Felton Spencer. Was that the outfielder for the Twins?
No, that was a Timberwolves player.
No. So who the hell was the guy's name? I can't remember. His name was something like
Larry Heisel?
No, it wasn't Larry Heisel. But Lyman Bostock and this guy, God, I wish I could remember his name, were at the Byerly's in Golden Valley. And I walked in, and they both might have been hitting the pipe a little bit because they were both holding, like one had a muskmelon and one had an apple, and they were staring at the fruit. I'm like, okay.
That was the 70s.
That was the 70s. That's exactly right. They were staring at fruit looking, oh, look at this. It's an orb. Like, okay. What the hell was that outfielder's name? Damn it, I can't remember. Something like Felton. Something like, I don't know.
Was it Hoskin Powell?
Ooh, Hoskin Powell. That was that same era, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the same.
Maybe that's who I'm thinking of. Maybe it is Hoskin Powell.
Because Bostock was here. He left for the Angels as a free agent in, what was it, after 77? Because he was gone in 78. Because he and Heisel were both gone. You know, that Twins team in 77 could hit. I mean, they had no pitching, but they could hit. And then free agency started to strip them of players. And I think Heisel and Bostock were two of the first ones because Heisel went to the Brewers.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You know, back in the day. And then Bostock went to the Angels, got off to a rough start, and volunteered to return like his first month's salary.
Yep, I remember that.
He's like, I've been really bad, and I will give up my first month's salary. And they're like, no, that's okay. You don't have to do that.
That's very cool, though, that he thought of that.
Oh yeah, yeah. I the things I've heard is he was a good guy, and that was such a sad thing.
Yeah, no doubt about that. So I want to run somebody. It's not a sports thing, so I want to make sure we got all the sports covered. Do we have all the sports covered? We're good.
We're good on sports.
There's a story this morning on National Wire about tipping. Did you hear about this guy that suggests how much you should tip when you go to a restaurant?
Mm-mm.
Have you guys heard? You guys in studio heard about this?
I mean, I think the industry standard now is 20%.
It is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I tip about 30% usually because my mother was a waitress for 54 years. So I got a special place in my heart for servers because they do go through a lot of crap with some real pains in the ass. But now this guy is on the other end of that story. There are so many tipping stories out there, it's becoming exhausting to talk about, but this is something new. A man in California went to a bar in the San Diego area called the Catalina Lounge a while back, and he was closing his $24.50 tab. Okay? The screen gave him 4 suggested tips. This is at a restaurant in San Diego, and they're suggesting your tip should be 20%, as Tevin pointed out, 25%, which I still paid the click from there, getting a little high at 50%, but they suggested this guy leave a 100% tip. I mean, what?
Put it on the screen and maybe somebody clicks it and you make a couple extra bucks.
That sounds like a malfunction.
Doesn't it? 100% tip.
You know, to quote the phrase from TV shows, tipping has jumped the shark now.
It has, yeah.
Because when I go to Subway, and God bless them, sandwich artists, all right? They're sandwich artists. But when I go to Subway, and I'm not saying that they don't work hard, but I don't see that as a tipping situation. And now they do the same thing, Tom, where they turn the screen around, and you can tip for a Subway sandwich, to which I tell Subway, why don't you just pay your people more then?
Yeah.
Because I shouldn't be responsible. Like in my lifetime, when did we start this option to tip for a person that hands you a cup of coffee, for instance?
Yeah, fast food tipping, that seems very uncomfortable.
Yes.
Well, like the rule that I've seen people go by is if you have to go up to the counter, if you have to stand when you order, you're not supposed to tip.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's
which
a good
I
angle.
think in most cases probably makes a lot of sense.
Now, the guy was so appalled, he took a photo of it, and it's going viral, that they wanted 100% tip. Naturally, some comments say it's predatory. Well, predatory might be a little harsh, especially for a bar, because if someone isn't looking closely or thinking clearly, like you pointed out, that maybe they accidentally would hit the 100% tip, they could inadvertently tip a lot more than they mean to. No one from the Catalina Lounge has commented, so it's unclear if they, choose those options. or if they chose him in the first place, or if they were somehow pre-programmed or something. For what it's worth, the guy posted his actual receipt as well, which shows he ended up tipping 20%. But that is very standard now, isn't it?
Yeah.
It used to be 10, but now it's 20.
Yeah, and 20 is fine. I think 20 is absolutely fine, right?
They do. Servers do work hard, and a lot of people bitch at servers, which I don't understand. You know, I talk about the story all the time. At Kokomo's, where my mother worked when I was 16 years old. It's just sitting there empty now on 26th Avenue North between Fremont and Emerson. But I would stand outside the store, but you could look in the restaurant. And if somebody came out, I go, "You didn't tip my mother." I go, "What?" I said, "Get back in there and tip my mother." That's what I did for like a job, kind of.
That's what every restaurant should just have. It's like a bouncer, but on the outside. Like, hey, where do you think you're going? Nah, back
Intimidating.
$4 down.
Hey, tip my mom.
One other thing about that place that I will never forget, because Schweigert's was right across the street. Remember Schweigert's?
I think, are they still around? I feel like I hear a radio commercial for them every once in a while.
I think they are still around, but I'm not sure.
Is that the sausage place?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then yeah.
It was right. It used to be right across the street. There's nothing there now, but I'll never forget this. This guy comes out and he goes, "Tommy, I love that. Did you protect your mother? Make sure she gets tips and all that stuff." And I get to know the guy, and about a week later, he goes, "Tommy, now that we're friends." Now this guy's probably 35. I'm 16 years old. He goes, "Got to show you a picture of my wife. My wife is just stunningly beautiful." And I said, "Oh, yeah, that sounds good." He shows me the picture, and she has this very pretty face, but she weighs like 400 pounds, which, you know, God bless you, whatever. And I'm looking at it going, why is her face so thin, but she's so huge? And I realize she's wearing a dress that matches the pattern in a chair she's sitting in. It looked like she was gigantic because it was the same pattern. Whoops. But yeah, this beautiful thin face and gigantic body. But it turned out it was a chair. But, you know, it was a well-stuffed chair too, by the way. It wasn't just a chair.
Yeah, very shapely.
Very shapely.
Why would a guy that age show a 16-year-old kid a picture of his wife is my question.
Well, you know, it's a different era maybe, but she was stunningly beautiful. So I suppose he was just so damn proud of her. And like, you're 16, you can look forward to, you know, you try to hit this home run that I hit. I think that's what it was all about.
All right. I love it.
So it all works out. So you'll never leave 100% tip. We're going 20. Is that correct?
Yeah. I go 20. Yeah. I go 20, it would have to be terrible service not to go 20. I almost always go 20.
Do you run into a lot of terrible service now? Because I do not. I really don't.
No.
You know what's the funniest thing at restaurants? It's not the service once the person starts. It's sometimes you can tell that I don't know if there is like some of these tables are in like a zone that's not clear, but sometimes you have to wait a long time to get a service.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
But like once the service starts, it's okay.
Yeah.
But that's the weird one is that we've gone to some pretty good joints where it's like, how long is this going to take just to get a person to come and say, "Hey, would you like a water?"
That is so funny because last night I was talking to Josh Arnold. We're on the phone talking about this, that, and the other thing. And he pointed out that the place is no longer open. So, you know, no one even mentioned it. It's closed. And I asked him, because I was out of town, I said, "Why did that restaurant close?" He said, "Because you'd go in there and you'd have to wait a half hour before anybody." It was actually not really fast food, more kind of like a delicatessen type of deal. He said, "You'd have to sit there for a half an hour before a server would even come near you." It's like, why would you do that? That makes no sense.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. The only thing that I can deduct sometimes about that is if two people are busy and the servers think that they can pass it off, it's like a waiting game to see which server has to take your table. You know what that's like, Tommy? That's like the old days. Now the kids don't do this now, and it's not necessary. The old days when you'd go to the bank physically and get in line.
Oh God, yes.
It would be a standoff on tellers to go as slow as possible so that they didn't have to take your business. And like they would purposely talk to customers But like I would watch the tellers, and it would literally be like a slow play. So because if there were like 4 people or 3, right? It would be like a how long can I possibly take so that these poor schleps go to this guy or gal and not me.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I would have that in high school because for some reason I was like, I'm never going to do direct deposit. That seems like a hassle. I don't want to fill out the form.
Me too. I was like that.
So I was getting checks from my job that I was working. And then, it'd be like, okay. And I would get paid every week there. So I'd wait like 2 weeks and I'd go, but then standing in that line, the amount of like re-explanations and like, okay, sir, let's go over this one more time. And it's like, he has heard how to set up his checking account now 4 times in a row. I just want to make a deposit. And then it's like, oh, somebody's at the drive-thru. We have to go take care of them. And then I hear them chatting about like the taco place next door. Just let me put my money in my account, please.
Amen.
I understand.
So
I'll close with this. It just popped into my head because I mentioned the word delicatessen. There used to be a place, and it's closed now too, unfortunately, called Mort's out on 55 in Golden Valley. And I used to love to go in there because they named a sandwich after my mother. Isn't that cool?
That's awesome.
You go to a delicatessen, there's a sandwich named after your mother. The sandwich was called the Toots.
That's awesome.
That's a great name for a sandwich too.
Oh, yeah,
that's a great name for that. That is so cool.
So somebody else, maybe I got to talk to guys at Celebrity Deli to name a sandwich after my mother too. Just bring the Toots over here. Let's go.
What an honor.
Oh, it really was.
Seriously.
She was not with us at that time because otherwise she would have been in there every day staring at it.
If they named, a sandwich the Judd or something, I'd do the exact same thing. I'd go in and stare at it.
Are there any names you couldn't name a sandwich after? Like, if your name is Jack Mudd or something?
Oh, we could come up with some.
Oh, I bet. Well, we'll talk about that tomorrow.
Yes, exactly. That's a whole nother segment. All right, gentlemen.
Thank you, sir.
See y'all later. Take care.
We'll talk to you tomorrow. Judd Zulgad, SKOR North, ladies and gentlemen. Take a break. Be right back in a couple minutes. Chris Egert joining us. K&L Surplus and Ammo in Lino Lakes is my choice for firearms and ammunition. Jim, the owner, is one of the most knowledgeable people in the business and has a great selection of all the brands, like, say, Benelli, Tikka, Beretta, and SKB. I know hunting season is a ways off, but if you think about getting something new for the upcoming season, now is actually a great time to start looking. The advances in rifle and shotgun technology over the last few years is amazing. If you're using something that's more than 10 years old, you might be missing out on better performance and better results. That's what you're looking for, better results. If there's anyone that can help you get the right gun for hunting this fall, it would be Jim at K&L Surplus and Ammo. K&L Surplus and Ammo is on Lake Drive in Lino Lakes and open Tuesday through Saturday. Call them at 763-757-2614, or you can also visit them online at www.klgunstore.com.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain, and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? Inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings, or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
When you go to a restaurant, you expect the chef to be an expert. You expect your auto mechanic to be an expert when it comes to fixing your car. You judge them both by the results of their work. Josh Arnold is an expert in investments and planning your financial future. Josh Arnold is my expert, and he should be yours too. I talk to Josh every week, and he understands the market and the economy, and he knows how to plan for your retirement. Don't put it off another day. The man with your plan is Josh Arnold. Call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll have an expert planning and managing your financial future. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Channel 5's Chris Egert is brought to you by Mr. Money Talk Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation, 952-925-5608. And I was talking to Josh yesterday. We were talking about delicatessens and this and that and the other thing. And I was reminded of, oh God, now I can't remember the guy's name. He was a very wealthy guy. He ended up, his wife was very, very ill. He ended up killing her and then he killed himself. What was that guy's name again? Irving, oh God, Irwin Jacobs. That's what I'm
Oh, Jacobs, yeah.
Remember Irwin Jacobs?
Yeah.
I was reminded of a story, Mike Gelfand. You know Mike, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I was reminded of a story. Irwin Jacobs was on the queue with me one morning. It was actually a very pleasant guest. Every time I ran into Irwin, he was a very pleasant guy. And I suppose losing your wife like that because she wanted to be taken out because apparently she was very sick. And then he decided to do himself in as well, unfortunately. But I will never forget, he's sitting at the table in Studio B. That I was running my own board at the time, so I'm in Studio A, and I'm looking at both of them. They're sitting at the table. Gelfand's there. Irwin Jacobs is there. And I will never forget this as long as I live. We're on the air, and Irwin says to Gelfand, so what do you do for a living other than appearing on the show here? What do you do? And Gelfand said, I'm a handicapper. And Irwin Jacobs said, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I have a relative that's handicapped. I will never forget that as long as Gelfand looks like he's handicapped. I love that take on it. Poor Mike. So when he comes in on Thursday on the family show, I'm going to have somebody go, you're looking kind of handicapped lately. What's going on with you? I'm a handicapper. I don't think Irwin was a big gambler, maybe.
Yeah, I'd say probably not if that was his reaction to that. So. I remember when they put all their stuff up on estate sale. I guess it was a number of years ago now, but I remember that being a big deal and like being in the news because they were going to sell all the stuff inside their home. It was out. It was out around Lake Minnetonka somewhere. I don't know where it was for sure, but
no question about it. And I didn't spend a lot of time with it. Every time I saw her, when though, it was very, very pleasant to me, which I appreciated. Kind of a sad story, but still funny that Gelfand looks like he's handicapped. So that's good. You know what I mean? Gelfand. What's going on in the news, Pally?
Guess what? We love our airport.
Oh God, what happened?
We know we love it. It's been praised again. 2024 best airport.
Is it really?
Yeah, by Travel and Leisure magazine.
So I got to be honest with you. You and I talked about this before. I'm a bigger fan of places like the Spokane airport. It's a lot smaller and it's not so much to deal with.
I'm not a hater on our airport, but
it kind of sounds like
I swear to God, there's so much weird pride about this airport.
I know.
I've flown into quite a few places and out of. Is it really that much better than anyone? Well, according to this magazine, it is. What do you got, Kevin?
And I was gonna say I haven't flown, to every single airport in the U.S., but the ones I've been in, they all kind of feel relatively the same. Like there's nothing about the Minneapolis one where I'm like, oh my gosh, if you have the opportunity, have a layover.
Well, that's not what that
is. Great.
That's what the airport bobos are very. I mean, we've got great food. We do have good, good food. Different options than you can get. Listen, I've been to. I look at Newark now as the low bar for an airport because we flew into there a couple of years ago, and I know people always like giving Newark crap, and I was like, oh yeah, this does suck. Like it just very. I mean, maybe it was the terminal we were at, but I was like, oh, I kind of get all the jokes now about Newark. But anyway, I just thought that was funny.
Now I have a question.
Yeah.
I used to fly in and out of Newark all the time. Back when I was doing voiceover, you could there was IT or any of that stuff, so you had to literally go to Chicago or LA or New York or whatever. So I used to fly in and out of the airport all the time. But one of my favorites was Midway in Chicago. Instead of going out to O'Hare, I would fly into Midway because it was closer to the city. So I could do a quick turnaround, right? Did you ever go to the Midway Airport when there was a bar that was based on the theme of a shipwreck? There was I don't know how they built this thing, but it looked like they were serving from a shipwreck.
Oh, right? Really?
And I thought, you really want to show transportation that's had an accident at an airport? Why would you want to show that?
Not to mention, back in the day, all the pilots were probably in there getting popped too.
Oh, yeah.
Man, you ever watch that? I might have brought this up before, but you ever watch that Denzel Washington movie, Flight?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Dude, the first time I would like jaw drop, and I know it was a movie, but there's been lots said about the old school pilot culture and whatnot. Yeah. And oh my God, that movie, it made me leery to get on a plane the next time after I saw that movie. I was like, oh my God. Anyway.
Have you guys ever been even close to an accident on an airplane? I guess, well, we were coming into Minneapolis, St. Paul, and I can't remember where it was from. I think it was from New York, but all of a sudden we're coming in, and all of a sudden they jack the plane up and go straight up in the air because apparently a plane on the runway was on the wrong runway.
Oh. So
it's not like we almost landed on top of them.
Yeah, but still,
it's like, my God.
We had either it was my plane or my wife and I's plane. It was when we were in Orlando, and we were going a lot back and forth between here and Orlando.
Yeah, yep.
And I think the plane took a lightning strike.
Oh,
and you didn't know it to be a big deal at the time, but I remember after it was said and done, and I think you could look out and see, if I recall, I felt like you could look and see the damage on the plane after we were out of I don't know, but I remember one of those things holy crap. At the moment it was happening, it was jarring, but it wasn't holy crap, we almost died. But then I don't know, that was probably the closest thing we've ever had.
You guys ever had one? Either the two of you?
No, outside of just bad turbulence. There was one where you can feel the plane drop, and it dropped, and then it kept dropping, and then it got to the point where I was like, maybe this isn't right, and then it stopped, and we were just fine. But yeah, nothing other than that.
So you made it out. That's good.
Yeah, we survived.
Yeah, I've always had fun. I don't fly. I could probably count the amount of times I've flown on one hand. So,
really?
Yeah, I'm not a huge traveler.
God, I used to have to fly 3 times a week. That became a massive pain in the ass. It was great doing all these different spots and all that stuff, but flying 3-4 times a week gets to be really old.
Yeah, I always have this romantic idea in my head about how cool it'd be to have a job to travel. And I used to get to travel quite a bit more 10, 15 years ago. We just don't do it as much anymore. And then I'm you do it with some regularity, and you're like, yeah, this is a pain in the ass. And everything with
that's true.
With the freaking shoes and I'm not saying the security's not necessary, whatever. It's just and then I'll tell you what, and then don't have a leg and then have to factor that into the whole freaking going through security thing.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. You'd think they'd never seen anybody who had a prosthetic on before when you're going through the thing.
I suppose, yeah.
So it automatically factor on another 25, 30 minutes just to get through.
I have a question for you guys, and I don't know what this might be, but when you get there and you put your hands up like that and they do the scan of you and all that, almost every time they say, sir, could you stand over right here? It just happened to me, as a matter of fact, coming back from a trip I was on, in Spokane. So I put my hands up and I exit. The guy, sir, could you step aside? They always pat down my right side from my right armpit down to my waist. What the hell could be setting that off? I don't have any, fake body parts or any of that stuff. Why would that be set off?
No.
What side?
What's that?
Which side, your right or left?
My right side. It's always, it's always on my right side going down to my waist, and I have no idea.
You don't have a pacemaker, do you?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think
nothing
so.
like that. I mean, I speculated one time it's probably the huge bicep.
They just want to. They just want to cop a feel.
Yeah, you can't. No guns on the airplane, sir. You got the big guns.
That's not a gun. Sorry. Let me see if I can put these away before the flight starts.
Chris, when you go through airport security, like let's say you're wearing some pants, I'm just imagining them like wanding you down your left leg and then right leg. Do you let them know ahead of time, or do you let them think maybe you're concealing something?
It's a surprise. It's funny until you get a cavity search.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. A great point, AJ. I will almost always wear shorts to avoid that because I don't want to have to. I don't want to have to slow people down behind me. So yeah.
Do they make you put it in the thing to go through the?
No, but they have before, depending on the airport.
Really?
And there's no standard. I know, and there's no like standard operating procedure either. Like one place it'll be one thing, the other place it'll be another thing. Now that to me is more frightening than anything, because at least there should be a protocol, right? Like if you think I've got a bomb in my leg, at least go through, and that should be the protocol, not just like in one place it's one thing and another place it makes no sense to me. But I just looked up. I'm late. I gotta go.
All right, you pill. Goodbye.
Okay, guys. Bye.
Channel 5's Chris Egert is brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation, 952-925-5608. I got to go because I'm so important.
Oh, I'm Chris Egert. I'm on the news.
I'm a news guy. And then I'm a disc jockey once in a while. I love working with that guy. He's always been such a great guy to me.
Oh, yeah. I don't think I've ever seen him or heard of him even having a bad day.
It's true. We'll take a break, be right back, cover some news. Got a great guest coming up, a couple of great guests coming up. As a matter of fact, Kristen Burt coming up at 9:15 too. So we shall be right back. Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. To thank you, they're having an overstock clearance and new product sale right now for the best prices ever. When you use promo code TOM, you get free shipping on your entire order. You get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived and won't last long. 6-pack towel sets for only $29.98. And take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses and mattress toppers. 100% made in the USA, on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything is on sale, from the brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually absorb dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, and so much more. To get the best specials ever, go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146. Use promo code TOM, and you can get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146. Go to mypillow.com and use promo code TOM.
Is that text you're sending so important that you missed your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
I'm here talking with my friends Michael Bilski and Brad Huckle of North American Banking Company. Guys, it seems like banking has changed quite a bit since you first opened your doors in 1998.
Yes and no. In 98, we didn't have online and mobile banking like we do today. Many banking processes have also changed. One thing that hasn't changed is we still provide a true community bank experience right here in the Twin Cities.
Our team takes the time to get to know our customers and their goals. This creates a relationship that is unique in banking today and one our customers appreciate. It's why we like to say we provide a better banking experience.
You're absolutely right, Brad. I've been a customer for a long time. The service your team provides is phenomenal.
Thanks, Tommy.
So why not bank with my banker, North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app, at TomBarnardShow.com, or wherever you get your podcasts.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. I just saw this headline and I was thinking, man, our candidates for president now, to most people, are so lame. They've come up with things like this. These are the cartoon characters we'd like to see as president. I mean, if you're looking at these two guys as, oh my God, this is what we got to choose from, is so bad you're picking a cartoon character instead. I mean, what do you think of that?
Yeah, it's bad. This is the same way when kind of the president or the election starts to roll around and they go, well, should Mark Cuban or Oprah Winfrey, or they just start throwing out random celebrities. Right. It's like, okay, yeah, that's how far our politicians have fallen.
At least those are real people, though.
You're right.
That's a good point.
Like, sure, they're not super great suggestions, but they are real physical people. We're talking about what, cartoon characters now?
Throwing out Shrek.
This is a national story too. It's not a local story. It's national.
Okay.
At this point, I'd feel more secure voting for a cartoon character for president. And the people at ranker.com have the same idea. They've got a poll going of cartoon characters people would most like to see to vote for in November. So here's the top 20. Oh, God, this is starting a really... Number 20 is Mighty Mouse.
Okay.
But you got that powerful flight thing.
Yeah. That's how he would take care of, like, foreign affairs.
Oh, I might have mine. Mine might be number 18, possibly.
All right.
So Mighty Mouse 20. Then you got 19, Pink Panther.
Yeah.
You like the Pink Panther?
I like him.
Okay. Okay, here's my choice so far. Number 18, Hank Hill from King of the Hill. Hey, how y'all doing?
Free propane for everyone.
Free propane for everyone. Number 17 would be Scrooge McDuck. Number 16 is Dexter.
The serial killer?
No. Dexter Laboratory, right?
Yeah, not the serial killer. Oh, no, that's right. There is a Dexter. I forgot. You're right. A serial killer. Doesn't he like put plastic bags over women's heads and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not have him. That might have happened at the White House, though. They're talking about some people did get killed at the White House. Number 15 would be Daria Morgendorfer from Beavis and Butthead and Daria. I did love Beavis and Butthead. I got to be honest with you. It was so silly that I just loved it. Number 14, another one I could vote for, Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
I could vote for Charlie Brown.
We don't need another blockhead in the White House.
Yeah, you blockhead. God, what a wonderful, wonderful deal that is. She-Ra from He-Man and the Masters of the Universe is number 13. Number 12 is Mickey Mouse. Well, Mickey Mouse is very sweet.
Yeah, lower on the list than I would have expected.
Yeah, I expected him top 10.
Yes, I agree with you. I thought Mickey Mouse would be in the top 10. Number 11 is Kim Possible. I don't even know who that is.
Oh, yeah. That's my generation of cartoons.
Oh,
she was
Kim
like,
Possible?
yeah, Kim Possible, the superhero. I'd vote for her for president.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good. We get to the top 10. I don't know about number 10, Scooby-Doo for president.
Superhero.
Well, that's true. Yeah, Scooby-Doo. Then you got number 9, Snoopy.
There we go. That's very Minnesotan. Bring Camp Snoopy back.
His alter ego, Joe Cool, would get so many like polling points.
But it does mean you'd vote for someone for president who can't talk.
Yeah, dog running the world, probably not great.
He's big on his mannerisms.
Yeah.
Also,
his mannerisms.
Also, I'd argue a president that doesn't talk a lot might be a nice change of pace.
Yep, you could be right. Number 8 is Bugs Bunny. I thought he'd be higher too.
I figured him be top 5, but he's too rascally. I feel like.
Wouldn't it be great though? He'd come up to the podium. Hey, what's up, Doc?
Yeah. State of the Union would be awesome. He's just gnawing on a carrot.
Yes.
That'd be pretty good. Number 7 is Optimus Prime.
Okay, let's be serious here.
What?
Yes, he's probably like he's an actual leader and probably would understand politics more than anybody we've said on the list so far. But this is a robot.
He leads an advanced alien race, AJ. I think he could handle the U.S.
You know what I love about that? An argument almost broke out over Optimus Prime running for president.
He's not a U.S. citizen. Show me the birth certificate, Optimus.
Yeah, you have to be a U.S. citizen. I think you have to be born in America, don't you?
It's either born in America or have a residency of like 20 years.
Oh, yeah, because Barack Obama was born in the Eastern Hemisphere, wasn't he? They claim he was.
Allegedly.
Anyway. Allegedly.
I have no idea.
I don't either. Who the hell cares? Yeah, they're trying to put his wife up for president, too, I see. What the hell's her name again?
Michelle.
Michelle Obama. There
sounds like she wants no part of it.
Yeah,
exactly. Because there are some other people think she's actually a guy, which where did that come from?
People will say anything.
If you get deep enough on the internet, you can find anything.
Oh, I can't get too deep on the internet. It drives me nuts. You got Papa Smurf at number 6. The top 5, Velma Dinkley from Scooby-Doo.
Logical, I guess.
Yes, I suppose that's probably true.
Jeez.
Number 4, Spider-Man. Ooh, we're getting serious now. Superheroes.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, so Spider-Man. Number 3 is the one I thought it would be number 1. Number 3 is Superman.
Oh, yeah, I would have expected him. That makes sense for him to be number. He's very American.
No question. Number 2 might be my choice. Number 2 is Lisa Simpson. That's pretty good.
That's good.
Tevin, let's take a guess here before Tom reads number 1. What do you think number 1's going to be?
My instinct was Captain America.
Ooh, I was going to say Batman.
Okay, Captain America, Batman. Yep. One of you is right. I wonder which one it is.
It's got to be me.
It's me. It's got to be me. Number 1 is Batman. Damn. Bruce Wayne. I used to love watching Batman. My favorite thing about watching Batman was they're climbing up a wall of a building. And it's actually just the camera's turned on its side and they're just walking along the floor. They didn't even try to hide that. I thought it was wonderful.
That was Adam West, right?
Adam West. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. We got to take a break. Lisa Loeb and Seggie Isho will join us. Straight No Chaser, an a cappella group, and their Summer the 90s tour is up next. When you go to a restaurant, you expect the chef to be an expert. You expect your auto mechanic to be an expert when it comes to fixing your car. You judge them both by the results of their work. Josh Arnold is an expert in investments and planning your financial future. Josh Arnold is my expert, and he should be yours too. I talk to Josh every week, and he understands the market and the economy, and he knows how to plan for your retirement. Don't put it off another day. The man with your plan is Josh Arnold. Call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll have an expert planning and managing your financial future. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? Inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
K&L Surplus and Ammo in Lina Lakes is my choice for firearms and ammunition. Jim, the owner, is one of the most knowledgeable people in the business and is great at getting you into the right firearm for your needs. We've talked about that before. You need the right firearm. Jim's a guy who can get it done for you. K&L Surplus and Ammo now carries Benelli shotguns that offer enhanced performance, amazing reliability for uses ranging from waterfowl hunting to skeet shooting and more. I highly encourage you to stop in, talk with Jim and the rest of the K&L Surplus crew. Between their superior knowledge of firearms, friendly customer service, overall stock, and fair pricing, I can't imagine a better location to purchase your next firearm. K&L Surplus and Ammo is on Lake Drive in Atlanta Lakes, open Tuesday through Saturday. You can reach them by phone at 763-757-2614, or you can also visit them online at www.klgunstore.com.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Indeed. You know, I was just tipped off to why they pat me down at the airport on my right side every time. One of our listeners, Joe, said they take you aside and pat you down on the right side because, Tom, you look like a mafia hitman. So they think I'm carrying a gat on the airplane. That would not be good. Lisa and Seggie ready to go?
Yes.
Lisa Loeb and Seggie Isho, ladies and gentlemen, Straight No Chaser, an a cappella group, and their Summer the 90s tour. Good morning. How you doing?
Good morning.
You know, I got to be honest with you both. I'm sitting trying to do a show this morning, and the two guys that are on the show with me are busy listening to you two. You know, so I got to get their attention like every break now. And so apparently you got a couple of big fans in studio today. That's good.
Always good.
Love it. Love it. Indeed. So what's the latest? What's going on?
The 90s are going on. That's what's going on. We're going to have a big party here all summer long, and we want you and all your listeners to come on out and have a good time with us.
Now, where are you going to be?
We're going to be all over this amazing country. We're going to have we've got a handful of shows in the Minnesota area.
Yeah.
And we can't wait to get back. You know, want to get our hands on some Juicy Lucy's and put on a night of great music.
Now you're showing off, Seggie. You're showing off. You're a world traveler, man. Yeah, they'll be in Waite Park, Minnesota, which is a nice area up near St. Cloud.
Mm-hmm.
Duluth, Minnesota, another big college town, great town as well. A lot of shipping stuff going on. So yeah, you'll be all over Minnesota, which is very cool. Lisa, I got to mention, you know, now that I mentioned that to Seggie, Tevin's been sitting here listening to you singing all morning long, as I said. So I just want you to know that it's nice to actually hear the human being talking along with singing.
I know, and I love that he's listening. He's going to be there for a long time. I've got a lot of albums. But I like that. What I would say is go to YouTube, official YouTube, Lisa Loeb, and go down that rabbit hole. There is so much music there, and it's really fun to look at, to, you know, watch the images that we came up with that go with the music.
Yeah, and we jumped right into the throwbacks with "Stay, I Missed You," and it brought back a lot of nostalgia to my younger years, for sure.
It brings back a lot of nostalgia to me. It's funny whenever I play the song "Stay," which is at most concerts. Although I have to say, recently I was out with Lyle Levitt playing, and I just totally spaced. You know, we were up on stage trading songs and stories, and I got a call from the promoter the next day saying, "How come you didn't play Stay?" I'm like, I didn't even think about it. I forgot, because there's so much other music. But I love playing the song, and it brings back so many memories for me of recording the song, of being flown out to Los Angeles to have to finish the song, which we put like a tambourine on it out there. You know, going to the premiere of the movie Reality Bites, and, you know, and then it's just felt so current since then. It's been 30 years we're celebrating the song "Stay, I Missed You," but it's fun to see the audience members and how, you know, like what you're saying, like you get your own memories, and people are like, oh, it's a song that I met my wife, or I divorced my wife, or whatever it is.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You know, I got to be. I'm of an age where back in the day, growing up in North Minneapolis, we used to stand on the corner a lot. This is that kind of neighborhood, and sing a cappella. The people all across all levels of income. You know, it was a very poor neighborhood, no question about that. But do people still even do that back in the day? And I think maybe the original Sylvester Stallone movie, the boxing movie, because they were singing a cappella in that movie quite a bit, if I remember correctly. Is that not right? I think.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty common thing out in Philadelphia. We were bummed not to have our music featured like Lisa has in a movie, but I don't want to brag, but I did have a cousin's nephew put us in his 7th grade student film, which is great. Uncredited, but it was still great to have our music out there. But yeah, people these days, I don't think they're really rallying around the garbage can or the street light singing a cappella these days. They're probably playing Fortnite or something like that. But we're still doing it, and you could see it up on stage, and we have a good time with it. You know, we take you back to those days when you would walk down the street in North Minneapolis and hear those guys singing a cappella and busting each other's chops and just having a good time and making the night of it, keeping it loose, not really taking themselves seriously. You know, you take the music seriously, but not yourself, and it's just a lot of fun.
No question.
Bring back that nostalgia.
Lisa, you were going to make a point about this as well.
Oh, yeah. No, I was just going to say people might not be standing on street corners, but with TikTok, people are standing on TikTok corners. And I've been really impressed actually at how much singing has come back. You know, like when you look online with the technology and what people are able to do and not really have to be able to play instruments, but, you know, they have to know how to use the computer. There are some amazing singers, and I think staying in groups like Straight No Chaser. I'm excited. I'm bringing my son, who's 12 years old, to some shows, and I can't wait for him to see these guys live on stage. You know, it's really magical to have all the sounds and the melodies and the harmonies and the rhythms coming out of, you know, people with no instruments. It's mind blowing, you know. So I can't wait for my son to see that in person.
You know what you two have done to me today? Now it's going to be with me the rest of my day because my voice dropped when I was 11 years old. So I got a very deep voice at 11 years old. So in that wonderful song, when they talk about people saying you got 3 children and another wife, and I'd go, and that ain't right. So
That's
I understand.
good. I'm always trying to sing, yeah, but I don't you probably do it much better. You got to punctuate everything with yeah.
You know what? I think this is a wonderful, wonderful thing to do because just getting groups of people together. I mean, obviously in this case, professionals, but I mean, just sitting around with your friends, singing songs and having a good time. I really wish we did that a lot more. So I hope you inspire people to do it.
Absolutely. You know, after every show, we head out to the lobby and take a seat, and anyone that likes to stay after to say hello or get a CD or shirt or whatever signed, we'll do that. And we have a lot of groups coming through, a lot of high school groups saying, you know, hey, you know, I grew up listening to you guys. And that's when we stop them and thank them for making us feel old, saying I grew up listening to you. But, you know, a lot of people are like, you know, I started my own a cappella group at school.
Good.
It's just really cool to see. And, you know, I didn't grow up having a cappella around. I didn't get to partake in it until college. So it's nice to see it starting younger and younger. It's pretty awesome.
I do have the opinion, it's a personal opinion, obviously, but I think a lot of people have it. Where would we be without music? I mean, music is very, very important, and a cappella is a really important part of music. I love instruments and great bands and guitar players and drummers and, you know, all the rest of it. But music is so important to our lives. And you know, I grew up a Catholic kid, so we had the big choirs and all that stuff. Choir music was just, boy, it killed me when I was a kid. I just absolutely love that. So I'm glad to see you guys getting out there and putting forth this magnificent music done in a very spectacular way.
Thank you very much. You know, I think people are just ready to get back to music kind of in its root form, you know, and we had all this electronic and super produced music. We still do on the radio. So it's nice to just sit back, relax, hear some beautiful harmonies. And, you know, even when Lisa's playing, it's not this crazy produced sound. It's a intimate singer-songwriter up there pouring their soul out into this music, you know, playing a guitar. And it's simple is the wrong word, but it's the right word in the sense that your ears get a just nice, relaxing break from all this super produced, overproduced stuff. It's back to the roots, you know?
And no doubt about it. And what I keep picturing in my mind now, and I will be all day long, because I don't know if you guys know this, but it gets a little cold in Minnesota in the late fall and early winter.
Yeah.
But I remember guys standing around they used to have these, like I said, I'm showing my age now, but they had these burning barrels. They were just gigantic barrels, and they would, you know, burn and burn them on the street corner sometime, just whatever. And people used to gather around those burning barrels, a big flame coming out of it, and they would sing a cappella. Just great memories from both of you.
It warms you up, seriously. when you have singing, it totally draws you, to the moment that you're in. And that's what's so amazing. I went to go see a live concert last night, and I do listen to music and watch a lot of videos and things like that. But to see music live in that moment, there's nothing like it. It's not like watching a live concert on YouTube or, listening to some live recording. When you're there, it's purely unique moment.
On the 23rd and 24th, it'll be July 23rd in Waite Park, Minnesota. Again, that's up by St. Cloud. And then the 24th is Duluth. So I'm hoping maybe that you guys are flying through Minneapolis St. Paul International Airport and you can come into studio and do a little a cappella in studio. I mean, you got nothing better to do waiting for your flight, right?
That's right. We won't be at baggage claim because we have no instruments. So
that's a very
we'll be there quickly.
I would love to have you guys back on because do you run into a lot of people now who really are into a cappella? I always have been, always will be. Are there a lot of people that are loving it?
There are, and it's growing every year. So we're very thankful.
All right. Well, someday you got to wander in the studio. I'd love to meet both of you. Thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lisa Loeb and Seggie Isho, Straight No Chaser, an a cappella group in their Summer the 90s tour. Did you guys do that over in Western Wisconsin? You get around and sing a cappella together?
I mean, if they did, it was probably country music. I was never part of the a cappella groups. I cannot sing to save my life.
Oh, you can't? Really?
No, you don't want to hear me.
Well, I feel like a cappella got a little bit of like a rebirth or something like that, a revival when the Pitch Perfect movies kind of came out.
Yeah.
There was a huge fandom. And I mean, the first one was great. Second and third, take them and leave them. But the first one, I feel like a lot of people were like, oh, this is a fun thing that maybe I like singing. I can kind of get together and do this with somebody like at my school. We can have an a cappella club or something like that. So I think it's gotten a little bit of a revival, which is awesome.
Do you do the take it back? Do, take it back. You can do all that kind of stuff.
I can't. More talented people than me.
I
Probably.
can't. We're going to ask Kristen Bird if she can sing, because I don't know if she can sing or not. She might be able to.
I think she has on the show before.
I'm going to say no. It's her one flaw.
So we got 2 votes.
She's got the voice of an angel. I'll go.
The voice of an angel coming your way from Kristen Bird just moments from now. Let us take a second to talk about my bank. That would be North American Banking Company. If you own a business or are thinking about starting one, make sure to check out my friends at North American Banking Company. When your business is looking to capitalize on an opportunity to solve a problem, turn to their experts because they're locally owned and operated. Loan decisions are made here in the Twin Cities, not shipped out of state. This helps business owners expand with confidence. So if you're looking for a better banking experience, why not bank with my friends at North American Banking Company? Go to nabankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
I've been tracking the weather in Minnesota for a long time. I'm 5 Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Ken Barlow. In the morning, I've got to be right because my forecast affects your family's entire day. And in the evening, you can count on my friend, Ren.
That's right, Ken. I'm 5 Eyewitness News Evening Meteorologist Ren Claire. And as a Minnesotan, I know our weather can be tricky. Throughout the day and into the night, I've got you covered with an accurate forecast to help keep your family safe and ready for any weather.
And don't forget, no matter how things change or what time of day, you'll always get our forecast first at the start of every newscast on 5 Eyewitness News. Start your day with me, Ken Barlow.
And wrap up your day with me, Ren Claire.
Because 5 Eyewitness News is always tracking our weather. So you're always alerted first. It's why 5 Eyewitness News is Minnesota's weather authority.
I hosted my show on the radio for 40 years. Now I host the Tom Barnard podcast. And I'll tell you, I've never seen the passion and engagement from our audience as I do now. I know we also have businesses that listen to our podcast, and it got me thinking, wouldn't it be great to help those businesses grow by telling my listeners about them? So here's the deal. If you own or handle marketing for a business, would like to have my audience buy your product or service, visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and we'll put together an ad campaign to help your business. That's TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and thank you for listening.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Uh-oh. Oh, we had the still photo for a second. I thought you stiffed us.
No, I'm here.
There you go. Kristen Bird Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. So we had a question. Did you sing on the show a while back?
I think every once in a while I'll sing like a little ditty.
Yeah,
just a little ditty.
A little ditty about Jack and Diane.
Two American kids growing up in the heartland.
In the heartland. That's a good song, actually.
It's a really good song. And, you know, if you're John Cougar, you don't really have to sing, do you?
No, that's true.
Yeah. So that's a good song that you can like talk sing.
It's a good karaoke song.
That is a really good karaoke song. What's your go-to karaoke song, AJ?
Oh, it's Dear Maria, Count Me In. It's either that or Jump Around by House of Pain.
Oh, Jump Around's really good.
That gets the bar going. Jump. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Tevin, what's yours?
My go-to karaoke song. I don't think I have a go-to. I usually try to read the room and just pick whichever song I think everybody's going to like, so that way I don't have to sing by myself.
Okay, that's fair.
There
Yeah,
you
I mean, if you did like a Sweet Caroline, like everyone's just going to sing with you, and
go.
no one. Yeah. How about you, Tom? If you're going to go to karaoke, what's your song?
The song that I used to love to do because my mother was a huge fan was Patsy Cline's "Crazy."
Crazy. Yeah, that's a good song.
For feeling so lonely, I'm crazy for trying. Oh God, that woman could sing. She could belt it. God, she was wonderful. She died in a plane crash, didn't she? I think.
I think so. We lost like there was a time where we lost a lot of musicians to plane crashes because plane safety was not what it is now.
Okay, I just got a note from somebody. How about Willie Nelson's version? No. No, Patsy Cline nailed it. Willie, he put his heart into it, so that part was nice.
You know who came close? She did her version of Blue was Leanne Rimes. When she was younger, she was always touted as like the next Patsy Cline. I don't think she really like achieved that, but when she was younger, she was really kind of leaning into the Patsy Cline type of career, and her stuff was beautiful.
Do they still do a lot of karaoke at bars? Karaoke?
Yeah, there's a handful of places in
there?
Minnesota here in Minneapolis that do karaoke frequently.
Koreatown in Los Angeles has tons of
Oh, they
bars
do?
that you can go to. Yeah, it's a big birthday kind of thing to do.
The only thing I don't like is when they really drop the, it's like, it's been a hard day's night. Yeah, that's real good there, pal. Why don't you wrap it up?
Also, though, on the flip side, I don't like it when people take it, you know what I'm talking about, too seriously. And they think that they're on the Broadway stage and then they go up for like 16 songs. It becomes not fun for the people that are there to just kind of have fun with it.
A perfect example of what you're talking about. I heard a guy try to sing Nessun Dorma, which is one of the great classical songs of all time, and he couldn't even come close to getting it right. I mean, it was terrible.
There's a lot of Disney adults that like really get into all the Disney animated theme songs, and then they'll be up there for hours. Although it's really, and you're just like, come on, people. Like, we just want to get into like sing Bust a Move and like, you just want to go and have fun with it. My friend for her engagement party did a karaoke bar situation, and it was so much fun because it was, you don't expect it at an engagement party, and everyone just had champagne and they were singing, and it was actually fun because people picked songs that everyone could sing to.
That's not that easy to do, picking songs that everyone can sing to.
No, I think you just need the ones with good choruses that everyone,
Yeah.
Did you already say your go-to karaoke song? Did I miss that?
Mine's Bust a Move.
Nice.
She's dressed in yellow. She says, hello, come sit next to me, fine fellow. Run over there without a second to move. Hey, what comes next? Yeah, bust a move.
Oh, God.
See, it's something that people can actually go and do the chorus.
Yeah. Is there one song that no one should ever try to sing? I mean, I wrote
Down
up
with the
nothing.
Sickness. I've been at a bar and it wasn't the right vibe by any means. And then it comes like the initial like ooh, ah, ah, ah thing, and the guy messed that up, and from there it kept getting worse and worse. And it's a long-ish song, and it's just like,
oh God.
I've got one. I'm going to sing mostly Whitney Houston songs because most of you and Mariah Carey, most of you do not have that range. Like,
yeah.
Which is Dolly Parton's song originally, but I Will Always Love You. Please do not try and do, all that. Most people cannot do that. And it's just like, you're holding your ears. You're like, people have been drinking too much. We don't want to hear it.
There's got to be a cap on length of song too.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, yeah.
I'd like don't go up there and do like Freebird or something like that, which is mostly a guitar solo, but let's keep it 3 minutes and under.
Like Queen, Bohemian Rhapsody is really long.
Oh,
do that.
I cannot.
Inagata Davida, that's 20 minutes long.
Yeah. So there are definitely rules to karaoke. Like to be a good karaoke person, there's like etiquette, I think, that people need to follow.
Yes.
I used to love that back when I used to schweel once. What I used to do it with is Jeff Passel. We would go with our wives to karaoke. Oh, Jeff can sing. Jeff's a very good singer. So, I mean, it's just so much fun. But do you have to schweel in order to really have a good time with karaoke?
I think most people have to schweel to get the courage to go up in front of a room full of strangers and sing.
Yeah.
But
Oh, I'll do it and make a fool out of myself. I'm so fine with that.
Yeah, or I'll pick like an ironic song where I'm up here singing like Barbie Girl or something like that, and they're like, "This looks ridiculous."
But you can go up and do Ken. I'm just Ken. I think people actually would sing along with that one.
Yeah,
because Ryan Gosling made it cool.
Oh, that's what it is. See, when I used to do it, I used to do a lot of Marvin Gaye because Marvin Gaye is one of my favorite singers of all time. I just loved him. And his own father told him, "Let's get it on, oh baby." Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Whoa, I don't know where that came from.
But that was so much fun. I don't see you as a big drinker, Kristen.
I am not. In fact, I went out last night with my best friend from childhood. And I said, "Are you having a drink?" And she's like, "You know what? I've been sober since January." I'm like, "Fabulous." I was thinking about ordering this mocktail, and I ordered a mocktail, and we both had it. It was a no-hito instead of a mojito.
A no-hito. There you go.
It was delicious. We were at the Gauge last night, and the food was great. My mocktail was great, but I drink less and less as time goes on. I do enjoy a glass of champagne. I do enjoy a margarita when I'm having Mexican, but I've said this before, like, I can let months pass by before I've touched alcohol. It just isn't a part of my life.
I have heard that younger people, like, late teens, early 20s, are not big drinkers. Is that true?
Yeah, the younger generation, probably because they've probably watched their parents just booze it up. And so they're like, we kind of want to swing the other way. And now the THC seltzers are very, very popular.
Oh,
so
yeah.
People are starting to transition to those a little bit more.
Don't you fall asleep if you drink those, though?
I mean, if you drink like 6 of them, yeah. But for the most part, it's like you can have one and you feel fine and relaxed and you don't wake up in the morning with a hangover.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
And I think for a lot of people, the sober movement gained a lot of traction during the pandemic because initially a lot of people did drink and alcohol sales were way up. And I do think a lot of people just said, "You know what? I'm not feeling great about this." And people just stopped drinking. They're like, "You know what? I just feel better in general."
Yeah, but I mean, you'll never get that wonderful experience in life when you go to somebody's house, your buddy's house, and his dad's drunk. I mean, who wouldn't want to experience that?
I think a lot of people. I think there's a lot of trauma associated with some of that.
Oh, I think you're right about that.
Yeah. And
Barnard, what are you doing here?
There's a lot of studies, if you really go and do a deep dive in it, that alcohol is just as poisonous as if you're a smoker. It does different types of damage to your body, but it's just not healthy. And they're moving away from the studies like a glass of red wine is good for heart health. They're starting to push away from that as well.
Oh, are they really now? I suppose, man. Yeah, I don't see a lot of people. I haven't seen anybody drunk in a long time. It's been a long time. So I don't know. Maybe people are all paying attention. Look, I mean, every friend that I lost very early in life, like in the, let's say the late 40s, 50s, something like that, they were all big drinkers and smokers. Every one of them that died very young. It's not good for you. There's no doubt about that. Yeah. Unfortunately. So what else is going on in Hollywood?
All right. Well, I think we have. All right. Here's the deal. I'm very curious in your opinions on this because I feel like Tom Cruise has anointed the next big movie star. And I feel like they are trying so hard to make this happen. And I just don't feel it. So I'd love to get your opinions on it. But Tom Cruise is working so hard to make Glenn Powell the heir apparent.
I don't even know who Glenn Powell is.
He's got Twisters coming up, which will be like his big action movie this summer. He did Anyone But You, the rom-com. He was in Top Gun Maverick with Tom Cruise.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't feel it. I would love your opinions on this.
I mean, he's a fine actor, but I don't see him being like the next Tom Cruise, George Clooney, Denzel Washington like type. He's fine. Like, he's very inoffensive, but I don't see him being like the next big guy.
The problem is, I think, is that Tom Cruise thinks that somebody can, like Tier said, he can anoint him and get him to the pedestal that he was on, where I just don't think the younger generation now views celebrities in that same limelight. Like, yes, if you're in movies, that's cool and all, but you know, like who are the biggest actors and actresses right now? Probably Glenn Powell, Sydney Sweeney. There's some other ones coming up.
Zendaya's big.
But it's like, they're not like these. I don't need to know. There's not a constant, I need to know what they're doing feel around them. It's like, they're people at the end of the day that are obviously more famous. I did see, to your point though, I did see Tom Cruise's like post with the Glenn Powell, but he cropped out 2 other people that were in that group photo. And it was, whoops, just a hilarious, like, you are my guy. And it's Glenn Powell. I don't know what he's doing. I hope he stays away from Scientology.
Yeah. I'll say, and that's the other thing. Does that kind of Tom Cruise being associated with Scientology and now people kind of looking at him a little bit more sideways, it almost helps, like, or almost loses credibility for Glenn Powell a little bit. Like, is he going to be the next guy? Should we really listen to Tom Cruise about this? Let's wait for somebody else to anoint somebody.
Yeah, it's been kind of interesting with all of that, because Glenn Powell did an interview with one of the trades. It was either Hollywood Reporter or Variety. I think it was Hollywood Reporter. And he just was like, I'm modeling my career after Tom, and I've gone to him. And Tom Cruise gave him like a session. Actually, it was GQ. Now that I'm thinking about it, it was GQ where the article is, and it's worth reading. Like, and Tom was like, come on over. I did a whole movie on like filmmaking and camera angles, and I just wanted to show it. And so Glenn was assuming that he was going over to Tom's house with a bunch of other people to see like a little YouTube clip of Tom explaining his version of like how he thinks movies should be made. He was the only one who was invited, and it was a 6-hour like tutorial.
Oh, God.
And he sat there the whole time. But Glenn is eating it up, and Glenn's like, I'm totally into this. But there are people who are questioning, Tevin, to your point, is there a Scientology association now? Like, in order to be in Tom's inner circle, do you have to put in the Scientology factor at this point?
God, Scientology's still around. That kind of amazes me.
They have less power than they did, but they are still powerful. They're the biggest landholder in Hollywood. They own some of the most historic buildings. Yes. And if you go down Hollywood Boulevard, they not only have the Scientology Center, but they have at least 3 or 4 other historic buildings. And they will just try and rope in tourists off of Hollywood Boulevard going, you want to take a personality test? Don't do it. Don't do it, people, because once they get your name and email address,
oh God,
they'll say that you're a part of Scientology or that you've taken a course. Or
who was the guy that wrote that book again? The long
L. Ron Hubbard.
L. Ron Hubbard. That's exactly right. Not related to the Hubbards we work for.
No. And
very clear.
Yeah, very clear. No association. And I think too that we still see that the damage they do, Leah Remini is still fighting them in civil court because they have harassed her. I mean, and they say allegedly, and I'll say allegedly for this, but I mean, they will allegedly start out websites in your name being like, Leah Remini is a scum or something like that. And then, and they do it under the First Amendment. They're like, this is free speech. This is my opinion of her. But it's harassment at the same time. And, the law has to interpret that, of course, but it is a stressful situation for Leah, who obviously has fought against them and done shows and won Emmys talking about the cult itself. But it's really fascinating.
Yeah, Leah's sister used to live in Minneapolis, and she would come in and do the family podcast with us once in a while. And you hear these things the people getting roped into this deal. And it's very sad, actually.
Yeah. And I mean, especially when their intentions were to somehow better themselves. They were seeking some guidance and some help. And, some people turn to a church, some people turn to sports. Everyone does something. Maybe they go back to school because they're seeking guidance of some sort. You go to therapy, but it's a very easy and vulnerable time to get roped into a cult if the wrong person gets their hands on you.
I have a friend named Craig Schumacher, and he, for some reason, went in. This is 35 years. When did it all start? It was about 35 years ago, wasn't there? Kind of around that time.
I think Scientology, I want to say the 60s.
So it's God. 35.
Because I know Leah Remini's been in it in the 70s and she's in her 50s. So
but he went on Hennepin Avenue, just above where the old Astor Art Theater used to be. And the guy said to him, I wasn't there, obviously, but I laughed like my ass off at it because Craig was just going to, fake him out like he really wanted to join the club and all that stuff. And they apparently do these tests to see if you're sincere about this or whatever. Oh, so you know about this. I didn't know that.
As I said, they pull you off the sidewalk, the personality test. I'm like, do not do it.
That's what he did. He went in so apparently he didn't last very long though. Because the guy said to him, now I'm going to say something and I need you to not laugh at what I'm about to say because it shows true intention that you do want to be a Scientologist. You cannot laugh at this. I will start saying the word, but remember, keep in your head, do not laugh at this. So there's this long pause and Craig's looking at him and the guy goes, fart, fart, fart. And of course, Schumacher's laughing his ass off.
That's the end of me.
Get out of here.
There's nothing funnier than a fart. I'm sorry.
Well, who the hell wouldn't laugh at a guy saying fart 900 times?
Well, especially if they're doing it seriously, like fart.
Fart.
I would lose it. I would totally lose it.
Either Scientologists are just a group of people with no sense of humor.
Yeah, I get.
Scientology was founded in December 1953, just so we have the correct decade. So I was even off by a decade.
71 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
My God.
And they really had a lot of power. I will say, because I moved to Los Angeles in 2000, they had a lot of power, I would say, in the 90s and then into the early aughts. They would throw parties and hold free acting classes, and they would use those celebrity names attached with Scientology to sort of rope people in. And they were able to do it because at the time you're like, it wasn't considered a cult just yet. And people were like, oh, well, all of these actors in Scientology are doing well. Like Jenna Elfman was on Dharma and Greg, which was a big sitcom at the time. So you just go, oh yeah, of course. And John Travolta's career was at a peak, with Pulp Fiction, and Tom Cruise was doing well. So I think a lot of people just had stars in their eyes and they're like, if that gives me a leg up, that gives me a leg up.
I was kind of disappointed when I found out Gianni Ribisi was involved now. I always liked him a lot, but he got really weird after he joined that group.
I think he's been in since he's a kid. I believe his parents have been in.
Is that right?
Yeah, so he was born into it. Same, Leah was brought into it as a kid. Like a lot of people, it was their parents. To me, one of my favorite actresses, and I always just go, oh, it crushes me, is Elizabeth Moss. I think she's one of the best actresses out there. I've loved her in Mad Men. I love her in Handmaid's Tale. She is part of the Church of Scientology.
Really? So let's just stay with, how about being a Jew or a Catholic? How about that?
Maybe just stay away from cults. How about that?
Oh, I'm going to tell my mother you call Catholicism a cult.
No, I didn't. I just said stay away. I mean, I'm referring to Scientology. I mean, like, do your religion, but maybe just try and avoid cults at all costs. But I don't think people know that they're in a cult till they're in a cult.
Yeah.
It happens much further down the line.
It's somehow special to them, so they don't even realize it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of brainwashing and people coming out of cults. You have to undo everything that you've learned inside the cult. And anyone, if you watch any of those cult documentaries on Netflix, I know a lot of Tevin and AJ, I know you have, along with me, they just talk about how much damage is done and how long it takes them to sort of work their way through it, that there's PTSD that will stay with them for a lifetime.
All right, from now, the rest of July, the rest of the shows we do with you are going to end with fart. Fart. You're already laughing.
We're in the fart cult.
The fart cult. All right, young lady, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, guys.
Thanks a lot, ladies and gentlemen. That is going to do it for the show today. I just got a call from Andy that his son is not feeling well, so there will be no family show today, but there will be one again tomorrow, and we'll see you on this show tomorrow morning.
All right, talk to you then.